Hi, my name is Tinsae. Uh, I will be presenting on this video the topic I chose and in which I wrote my final project. So I hope you'll enjoy it. So just before starting that presenting my topic, I just want to say something why I chose this specific topic. First of all, I'm really grateful for this class. I am really thankful. I just want to thank you, my professor, my teacher, Bruce. So thank you so much for um, everything. So when coming back to my presentation, um, my topic, the topic I chose is gender. So I first uh, chose this topic because I feel like I should say something about this because like I have I always feel I have something to say about this thing when something like this is come up to the stage like so because I feel like there is misunderstanding regarding this topic. So before just starting to talk about it, it is foundational to give the definition of this topic. So, the Oxford Dictionary regarding gender explained it, saying that the anthropologist Margaret Mead is uh, credited with defining the difference between sex and gender in her essay, in which sex and temperament in three primitive societies. She said that gender is the culturally formal manifestation of sexual difference. So there is a sexual difference, which means like sex is the difference in which we can identify through biological. This it is a biological category, or it is a biological difference. But when we come to gender, it is a culturally formal manifestation of sexual difference. So having this in mind, uh, it's too easy to understand what gender means. So I do strongly believe that when God created Adam and Eve, um, He created them really differently, and the Bible also tells us a lot about that thing. So um, that difference is something to be celebrated. Like that difference is something that we should be grateful about and something that we should be um, thankful about because being all around the same, it doesn't feel like, yeah, it's not enjoyable. But God created us so differently. So I'm really grateful about that. And when speaking of this topic, I'm really happy to be female and to speak of this specific issue. So um, uh, I often hear that like especially even the feminist movement is say that like we are oppressed just because we are not given the stage. We are oppressed because um, we are we are like the mothers, our mothers were nurturing their children at home. Uh, we were told us that we were the feminists are used to tell us and that they are still saying that we are being abused just because we are living our role. Like um, the role thing is not about the value. That is something that we should be clear about. I just want everyone to know and to understand that. Um, for example, if we take a 6 year child, um, he should obey his mom and dad because that is the order, because um, that is the way it should happen. So until he or she come to know and understand what life about is, and until she come to be like he or he come to be strong enough to live by himself. This is the another kind of world. And when we come to the relationship between man and woman, there is also a difference, and the difference, as I said before, the difference that should be celebrated because that is a God given. And so when God created man and female, um, he um, he said like uh, man to be the leader, and the man to be the protector, the provider. He created them that way. But when we come to the woman, and she is created to be uh, the nurturer of the house, like the nurturer of her children and the helper of her husband and her children. And when this role come together and happen like mm, in like sustainably, there will be a family, strong families. There will be a good relationship between those families. So it's obvious, and we know that if there is peace in a family, the country will be safe, because every violence comes out of the family. Every violence comes out of the household in which that is broken, in which there is no submission, in which there is no good leadership. There will be always violence. As we can see, if the government is not ruling the country in a way that glorifies God, the people start to rebel against the government. That is that is the way it goes, because uh, since we are living in a broken world, we should act on our role without hesitating, without feeling that we are being oppressed. So the Bible clearly tells us that um, it's not about value. We both, men and female, created in an image of God. Clearly, that is stated on our Bible. So there is a role that we should be act on. We should be acting on. There is a role that given for male, and there is a role given for a female when living together in relationships or in a family relationships. It might be a marriage relationship, yeah, something like that. So um, but I'm concerned that I often hear in the church uh, the way we can overcome such kind of feelings is just um, bringing some kind of like the woman in leadership will be the solution for such kind of mess. No, I don't think so. Uh, the Bible clearly tells us again. Paul says, um, when Paul speaks of, I don't permit women to preach in the church, when he was saying that, he was just going back to like on the Genesis. So on Genesis, there is, I again and again uh, want to tell my listeners that it's not about value. It's all about the role. It's all about the role. So um, he just go back to Genesis. When we go to Genesis, um, God gave Eve to Adam to protect her, um, and God gave Eve to Adam to be a helper to him. So if they are joined together in this such kind of relationship, they are going to be one, and there will be no kind of violence or conflict or something like that. If one part is acting on his role in a way that glorifies God, in a way that ordered by God, and even and also if the other party is doing the same, there will be no conflict. And if if we were if the world were doing and acting on what the God ordered us, there will be no such kind of feminist movement. This movement came up to the stage just because of some men who abused their wives, some men who who just hold the Bible and said this Bible says this, so your value is undermined, so you just should, like, even we are coming to understand the word submit is negative word. So if we are going to say that submitting is a wrong thing, or if we are going to say the word submission is a negative term for us, what about when Paul says, as the Son submits for the Father, who is God, as Jesus submits to the God the Father, let wives submit to their husbands. Well, so this, the word submission is not about value. If we are saying it's all about the value, and if women are submitting to their husbands, they are being messed up. So if we are thinking this way, what about God the Father and God the Son? Um, that will be the right way to understand it. So um, this is the something that I really uh, want to talk about everywhere I go, like especially for women. I just want to tell them that they are not oppressed just because they are not assigned in the church as a pastors, or as uh, if they are not assigned in the church to be some kind of leader in the church. It's not about their value, it's about their role. And so this is what I deeply feel like there's misunderstanding about this. And most of the time I hear women saying uh, that Paul is a hater of women. So, which is, for me, which is crazy. So that's not true, and he's just telling us the truth. Uh, so if we just sit down and think about all of those things, we will come to the conclusion of, okay, so this is the right way. If we are starting to live in a way that the Bible commands us, uh, our life will be great. So this is my concern, and this is why I chose this topic. And I feel like I at some point tried to address my topic, why I chose it, and something uh, about it. So when we come to the Anabaptist perspective, so I won't be saying on this video much, um, um, but I'm grateful that the Anabaptists followed the right way, which is the patriarchal society. Yeah, Anabaptists were the patriarchal societies, but of course they were like assigning women as pastors or something like that. Um, so more than this, I will try my best to say on my paper. Uh, this is all I want to say. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.